one of the ways, actually, like the human resource problem, honestly, it would like one of the ways to solve it is to build stuff to last again.
Yeah.
We don't do that because it's convenient not to. And I recognize something too. Like if you want, again, you want to slave the human race, make it convenient. That's the way to do it because it works. That's the scary, like that's the really frightening thought, because people will almost always choose convenience. And that is a habit they figured this out. If I'm going to come at you and I'm going to say, you have to do this in order to do this, you're going to tell me to go fuck myself.
Yeah.
No questions asked. But if I go to you and said, you can do what you want, but if you want this, you're going to do it like this. And if it's right there and if it's convenient and it can be done, it doesn't matter what violation I'm doing to you, you'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
That is very much human psychology today. So if that's the case, and someone listening to this and watching this go, oh my God, like this is scary. It's like, yeah, it is. This is something you need to understand. You need to understand this about that. This is human nature 101, right? I'm not making this up. I'm not telling you. I'm not like, we know Walmart's bad for us. Why do we shop there? For the most part, if you're in a small, and by the way, if you're in a small town watching this or listening to this, I'm not saying it's you, right? Because you don't necessarily have the choice. But if you're in a big town, a big city, a big place, a big and you're shopping, it's because it's convenient and it's cheap, right? And that's why you're doing it. And that impacts everything. Now, if you want to move things away from that, recognize the 1920 railroad problem that Walmart and Amazon caused. Shut it down, because you do to them what you do to the railroads. That's how you deal with them. But you're not going to get that unless you recognize deep down on the inside that this is what they're doing. This is how they're doing it. This is what governments are doing now. Like I'm expecting to see, like in regards to the, it's going to be how everything from the vaccines are going to be marketed in the next year, and yes, they are going to be marketed, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're going to do. It's convenience. That's the selling. That's going to be the selling point, because that's how everything is done. Convenience sells.
Convenience and cheap, and part of that is, first of all, we have this thing that we work hard. I work to save my money. I don't want to go to a lot of effort to do things that I find pleasurable, right? So, like, if I want to buy a book, what do? Well, somebody tells me about it. I look it up on Amazon. I order it, and it shows up tomorrow at my door, right? Or even, food, whatever, or some item, whatever the case may be, without ever going into the house. Like, for instance, a while ago, I was ordering something, I don't remember, it was electronic, and I looked at Best Buy, my local Best Buy, right, or local electronics shop. So I go pick it up, right? They said they didn't have it in stock. If I ordered it, it would take 5 days to get to my house. If I ordered it to pick up in the store, it was going to take 8 days. If I ordered it off Amazon, I get it the next day. Now, what am I going to do if I need this thing, right? I'm going to order it from the place that has it and can get it to me the fastest. And as long as Amazon continues to fill that convenience need, I'm going to order it there. Now, that's not because I'm in love with Amazon, because what I find in talking to people is very few of them are in love with, as far as the concepts of big tech. They're not big fans of Microsoft. They're not big fans of Facebook. They're not big fans of Google and these people that control our information. At the same time, they're complaining about it on Facebook. They're using Google to search articles that tell them about how bad Google is. And but they seriously, we do it. I know. We do it because why? Well, because that's where I find the answers is on Google. If we suddenly took Google away and shut it down and people had to use other search engines, there would be a huge outcry from a lot of people to make those search engines more like Google. Well, to do that, those search engines have to do the exact same things that Google has done. And we, as people, would allow them to do it.
Yeah.
Because we would actually be begging them to do it. Google worked this way, so Dogpile work this way? And Dogpile goes, okay, but to do that, we have to. And people go, okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Accept terms and conditions. Accept terms and conditions. Inside the terms and conditions for one of my websites is a chocolate chip cookie recipe. If you read the whole thing, you will get my recipe for chocolate chip cookies.
That's worth watching. That's worth reading. No, user agreements. So I'll give you two. Like, there's a couple things to unpack there. So I know, like, pandemic, lockdown. So the local chapters, the bookstore here has a book I want. They have 6 copies of the book I want. It is not on the website, and their customer service cannot look in the store to tell me if they have the book. Ring the book. Like, there are literally people in the store. This is the part that's dumb to me. There are literally people in the store. You can ring the book. Like, you literally ring it up, and I will pay you money for it right now. I'll come pick it up. I don't even need to go in the store. I'm willing to go pick it up because I want to support you. And you can't even tell me if you got the book. I found it on myself on the website that you have 6 copies of this book. Not 1, 6. And I can't order it because your website's on drugs. And it's not sharing with me, so I too can get this, how messed up this really is. And then I can't call you. I can't ring an order. This is the other thing about the pandemic. It shows, like, really how ill-equipped a lot of places are for actual customer service. It's actually incredible.
But it reveals, too, who can adapt. So our local bookstore, Rediscovered Books, like, their online retail sales went up like 300% with the pandemic. Yep. Why? Well, they flipped around. They figured out their website. They did curbside pickup. They had appointments if you wanted to come browse. They had all kinds of things. So, they didn't make the revenue they did the year before, but they found a way to survive, and not only survive, but actually thrive pretty well during the pandemic for a bookstore because they pivoted. The whole problem that we have with Amazon, as far as, let's say, books and products wise, is the other people that provide those products locally in your area have not pivoted to meet what we call the Amazon challenge. Instead, they've just said, Amazon's killing us. And I'm like, they're killing you because you're letting them.